Life often takes us on a journey we could never predict, filled with choices, consequences, and lessons. However, let this be a reminder to live with integrity and to embrace our flaws, believing in the possibility of redemption. Grab your popcorn as you listen to this true life story of a young girl named Anita. When Anita discovered she was pregnant, she became very worried. Oh my God, who is responsible? Anita cried to herself. She decided to tell both of her boyfriends to see who would accept the pregnancy. First, she went to Samuel. "Sam, I am pregnant," she said, her voice trembling. Samuel's face changed. "Pregnant? You must be joking, Anita. As a smart boy, I am always on birth control pills. I don't know how you got yourself pregnant," he said in a very harsh tone. As Samuel rejected the pregnancy, Anita proceeded to tell Daniel. "Daniel, I have something to tell you," she said. "I am pregnant." Daniel frowned. "That baby can't be mine, Anita. I have low sperm count. I can't father a child." Anita was heartbroken and devastated. She had made a big mistake that will cost her serious consequences in the nearest future. Just about a year ago, Anita had just finished from Ajegule Secondary School. She was just 18 years old and would love to further her education in the university, but her parents were too poor to afford that. They lived in Ajegule, Lagos, and they didn't have much. Anita decided to learn tailoring, though she was very hardworking young lady. Anita longed for good life, full with fancy things. She admired her friend Tolani, who was about her age. Tolani would wear fancy clothes, shoes, and handbag. She was even using the latest iPhone. Anita wondered where she got those luxury stuff from when her parents were just as poor as hers. One evening, she asked Tolani, "Tola, how do you manage to get all these things?" Tolani laughed. "My boyfriend in Lekki buys them all," she boasted. "Boyfriend?" Anita exclaimed. "Yes, those lucky boys are rich and will take good care of you," she continued. "Don't worry, I will send your picture to Samuel, my boyfriend's friend. He will like you." "Ah, no, I don't want." "Don't worry," Tolani cut her short before she could even finish. "You will like Samuel when you meet him." After a few weeks, Anita eventually met Samuel and started dating. He bought her beautiful and expensive clothes, shoes, and bag, and even iPhone 15 Pro Max. Anita was happy as she enjoyed Samuel's money. He would take her to beautiful places, buy her anything she wants, and give her lots of money to support herself and her parents. Anita loved Samuel not only because of his money. He was her first boyfriend, her first love. Unknowingly to Anita, she will soon discover something about Samuel that will leave her heartbroken. One day, Anita decided to pay Samuel a surprise visit. As she reached Samuel's apartment in Lekki, she knocked on the door several times, but there was no response. She decided to pull down the handle of the door. To her surprise, the door opened to a scene that left Anita crying for days. Samuel was in a hot romance with another girl. "Samuel!" she screamed, not knowing what to do or say. She just shook her head and ran out with tears streaming down her face. Samuel tried to follow her, but she was already gone. Days turned into weeks and Anita refused to take Samuel's call or reply his messages. "I can't be with a cheat," she said to herself, and decided to move on. Anita focused, learning her tailoring work, and after a couple of months, her heart began to heal. And eventually, she started dating Daniel. Daniel was a gentle guy that lived around the same neighborhood with Anita. He was very handsome, calm, caring, and faithful. He was nothing like Samuel. Anita enjoyed his company a lot, but after a few months into their relationship, Anita became bored. Unlike Samuel, Daniel didn't have much, and the money he gave her was barely enough to take care of herself. One day, as Anita sat down in front of their house, she thought of Samuel, the goodies and the huge money she got from him. She also thought of Daniel's loyalty. Why not keep both? She said to herself. Samuel is rich and stays on the island, while Daniel is loyal and stays on the mainland. She could manage both since there is quite a distance between them. Samuel was on his phone when Anita's message came in. Hi. Samuel wasn't expecting it. He had tried to reach Anita since the day she caught him with another girl. Anita had blocked him everywhere, from calls to messages and even WhatsApp. In excitement, he replied immediately, "Hello, my love. Thanks for unblocking me. I am sorry. Please forgive me." Anita replied with a smiley emoji, and soon she began dating Samuel again. Months passed and a day came when Anita discovered she was pregnant. As Daniel and Samuel denied the pregnancy, Anita was left alone to carry her cross. Her parents were very disappointed, but they made her keep the pregnancy, which she eventually gave birth to a beautiful girl whom she named Amanda. She managed to get a sewing machine which she used to make clothes from home to support herself and her daughter. And one day, there was a big event at Ajekule. It was hosted by the Bale, their traditional ruler, and a lot of people came from all over Lagos. Anita and her friends also attended. Among the people that came from the island was Dayo. Dayo was a well-to-do young man. He was from a rich family and owned a huge duplex which he lives in Victoria Island. He is also in charge of most of his father's company in Lagos. He was very handsome and was seated in the VIP table of the event. As Dayo excused himself to answer a very important business call, his eyes fell on a beautiful lady who was dancing gracefully to the Fuji music being played. Who is that damsel? Dayo wondered. He decided to move closer. He became very close that Anita noticed him and felt shy. "Hi, beautiful," he said. Anita replied with a smile. "You can dance, you know," Dayo said, smiling. "My name is Dayo, and you are?" "Anita," she replied. They talked for a while, and then Dayo said, "Please, can I call you some other time? I would love to see your beautiful face again." Anita blushed as she called out her phone number. After that day, Dayo would call Anita morning and night before he goes to bed. He couldn't get Anita's beautiful face off his mind. One Sunday afternoon, Dayo called Anita on phone. "Hi, beautiful. Can you give me the honor to see your beautiful face today?" "It's fine," Anita replied, blushing with excitement. She rushed to get dressed, wearing her best outing clothes, and waited for Dayo to come pick her up. Dayo arrived in a shiny Range Rover sports car, stepped down and walked towards Anita. "Hi, my lady, may I?" As he opened the door for her, Anita wasted no time and got into the luxury car. It was more beautiful and expensive than that of Samuel. Anita was overjoyed. Dayo took her to a fancy restaurant where they had varieties of delicious food. Dayo treated her like a queen, and for the first time in a long while, Anita felt really special. As they talked about themselves, Dayo popped a big question that made Anita's heart skip. "Do you have a boyfriend?" Dayo asked. Without thinking, Anita replied, "Boyfriend, ke? No, I don't." "Why?" Dayo asked. "A beautiful girl like you cannot be without a boyfriend in this Lagos." "Serious, I don't have a boyfriend," Anita replied. "So, what happened with your ex-boyfriend? Why did you break up?" Dayo asked with curiosity. Fear gripped Anita, and without thinking again, she replied, "I have never had a boyfriend." Dayo's eyes widened with shock. What do you mean by that? Like you've never had a man in your life? He asked with a look of shock in his face. No, Anita replied boldly. I can't believe that, Dayot replied. You mean you are a virgin? Yes, Anita replied again, confidently. Bayo was amazed. A beautiful young lady like Anita being a virgin in this Lagos, he found it hard to believe but decided to trust Anita. When Anita got home, she was filled with guilt. I can't tell him I have a child now. He might run away. No man wants to be with a single mom, she said to herself. As time passed, Tayo and Anita's relationship grew stronger. She spent lavishly on her, and with time, he met her parents. Tayo wasn't just there for fun. He loved Anita from the first day he saw her, and loved her even more when Anita told him she was a virgin and will want to remain so until she is married. He rented a 3-bedroom apartment for Anita and her parents in a more distant environment and furnished it completely. He also gave Anita's parents some money to start up a business. Throughout their relationship, Anita kept her daughter a secret. Her parents kicked against it but eventually held back after Anita cried, begging and promising them that very soon she will tell Dayo. One Saturday morning, Dayo came to Anita's house unannounced and saw Amanda. As he was leaving, he asked Anita who she was. She is my little niece, Anita replied. She is beautiful and smart just like you, Dayo complimented. Anita smiled, faintly, consumed by guilt as she stammered, thank you. That evening, Anita's parents called her. It's time you told Dayo the truth, they said. You can't build a relationship on lies. Just give me a little time, Anita begged. I promise I will tell him very soon. Whenever Anita visited Dayo, they would talk, laugh, do chores, and even cook together. But at night, Dayo will respect Anita's wish by sleeping in a separate room. One evening, Dayo took Anita for an outing. To her surprise, Dayo had planned an engagement party. Anita couldn't believe her eyes as tears streamed down her cheeks. Dayo, she said in a low voice. Yes, Anita, Dayo replied. Please be my wife, as he knelt down, holding the golden engagement ring. Yes, Dayo, I will marry you. It was such a romantic moment as the room erupted with applause. Getting home the next day, Anita told her parents the good news. You are treading on a dangerous path, her father said. You must tell Dayo the truth before it is too late. Anita's heart was heavy. I will tell him after the wedding. Dayo loves me and I'm very sure he will understand and forgive me. I have warned you, her father replied angrily. After the engagement, Anita moved into Dayo's mansion as they planned the wedding together. Eventually, the wedding day came with Amanda as their little bride. It was a very big event filled with island biggest boys. It was a billionaire's wedding with beautiful decoration, varieties of food, popular guest artists, and lots of prominent men and women in Lagos. After the wedding event, Dayo and Anita retired to a presidential suite in the prominent Echo Hotel and Suites. Anita's heart was heavy as she made up her mind to tell Dayo the truth that night. After a hot shower, Dayo was excited to know his wife. He couldn't wait any longer. Looking at Anita in her beautiful and sexy nightwear, as he wrapped his hand around her, kissing her softly in the neck, Anita spoke. Stop, Dayo. I have something to tell you. Dayo hesitated. No, wifey, not now, please. I am not a virgin, Anita said aloud. Dayo jumped in shock. I am sorry, I lied, Anita continued. Amanda is my daughter. I was scared to tell you the truth. I didn't want you to leave me. I love you so much, Dayo. Anita fell on her knees, begging as tears streamed down her cheeks. Dayo couldn't believe his ears as he sat on the bed in shock. He remained mute for a moment and then eventually spoke. How could you? You played me for a fool when I did nothing but to love you. I am sorry, Anita cried. Without saying another word, Dayo got dressed and left the hotel room, heartbroken, in pains, as he drove to the beach where he cried his eyes out. He didn't return to his home until the following morning. Dayo felt betrayed and used. He called his lawyer to write a divorce paper and bring it to his home right away. Anita was all alone in the hotel room all through the night. She cried till morning and Dayo never returned. She called, but he only answered once, calling her a snake, and later turned off his phone. Anita returned to Dayo's house. Reaching there, she found a note on the table. Please leave my house. And beside the note were divorce papers. Anita broke down in tears. She couldn't believe her marriage didn't even last up to 24 hours. She went upstairs, packed her few belongings, and left for her father's house, leaving the divorce paper behind unsigned. Maybe he is still very angry. Maybe he needs some time, Anita said with hope in her voice. Getting to her parents' house, and after telling them what happened, her parents were very angry. We warned you, but you didn't listen. Days passed. Dayo refused to see either Anita or her parents. He eventually sent the divorce paper to Anita's house, and after many months of begging turned in vain, Anita decided to move on. She signed the divorce papers and sent them back to Dayo. With no financial support from Dayo, they couldn't afford to pay their rent and later moved back to Ajegule, where they used to live. Anita sold some of her wedding gifts and some expensive jewelry Dayo bought her, opened a small tailoring shop where she made clothes to support her parents and her daughter. One evening, she sat in her small shop. The memories of Dayo flooded her mind. Dayo was my only chance at happiness, but I ruined it, she said to herself. She recalled the way Dayo smiled on their wedding day, the warmth in his voice when he called her my queen. Tears flowed freely down her cheeks. And finally she said, I am sorry, Dayo. I truly am, and I hope one day you will find a place in your heart to forgive me.